with our customers for the live launch. I'm really delighted to have two individuals who agreed to join us on the webinar today, who are either part of the rSIM test process or have taken rSIM as part of their A to D transition that I explained. So I'm joined by Stephen Gould from Southampton City Telecare, who are one of Cairn's, Eliza's and rSIM customers, and also Tim Mulrey, Strategy and Transformation Lead at the TSA. And I can see, as prompted, you've brought your cameras on already, so I haven't got to do that bit. Thank you very much. And before I hand over to Stephen, I believe Joe's got his hand up for a quick question.
Yeah, thanks, Gaz. Thanks very much. I just wanted to highlight amazing presentations. Thanks so much, Gaz. So detailed, and I think it just should really give people confidence of the extensiveness of the testing and the approach that we've applied in bringing the rSIM to market. But I did want to just highlight to everyone that, you know, pop your questions in the chat. We are having a Q&A at the end. Charlene is going to moderate those questions as we go through the session, and what we'll do is we'll pick the kind of you know, the kind of brightest and best questions so that we can answer those later on in the session. But hand over now to Tim and Stephen. Thanks, Gaz.
That's lovely. Thanks, Joe. So Stephen, hello. Thank you so much for joining us. If for the audience, if you wouldn't mind starting with just giving a brief overview of yourself, your role in Southampton and Southampton's tech service, that would be lovely.
Yeah, thanks, Gary. So yeah, I'm team leader at City Telecare at Southampton Council. We provide installation, monitoring and responding services for over 8,000 vulnerable people. In terms of coverage, we support service users in sheltered housing schemes across Southampton and Portsmouth, as well as dispersed alarm users in Southampton. Our relationship with Cairn started in spring last year. We wanted to push on with our A to D transition, so we thoroughly sort of tested, compared a number of tech offerings from various manufacturers. We were impressed with the Eliza S. In particular, we liked the way it looks aesthetically. It's very easy on the eye, but it's very competitively priced. It was easy to program and install, and actually our account manager Lucy was brilliant throughout that process, never pushy for orders, but very supportive, very forthcoming with any information that we needed, always promptly. So those are just some of the reasons.
Sorry, Steve, incidentally, you started with the Elizas with the single SIM inside. Yes. So interestingly, what was your rationale for switching to the rSIM when it became available?
Yeah, well, we first learned about the rSIM in this webinar this time last year, in fact, seeing Andy from South Lanarkshire talking about his experience during the pre-launch testing, and hearing yourself, Gary, talk about the resilience benefits. And you can quite clearly see that it was a sort of next generation product, and it was going to add layers of resilience to our service user and to the services that we were able to offer. So the benefits were clear from that webinar. And so, yes, soon after that, we were receiving the Elizas with the rSIM installed.
And do you have any view of looking at retrofitting, you know, potentially the rSIM into your devices in the field, because naturally that would increase the resilience in some of your devices that you've already got available?
Yeah, so actually we've had that discussion, and we're looking to start retrofitting the units which are returned and which we're turning around to go back out into customers' homes. So we're looking to start doing that now. We've been sent a batch of rSIMs in order to do that, the little sticker packs to slap on the back once they're upgraded. And so yeah, having had that period now of stability and proof that they are working very well now, we're looking to start retrofitting them going forward. Yeah, every time one's returned, just to add that sort of layer of resilience to the existing service users.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for the insight, and I know you wasn't necessarily involved in the sort of early customer testing, but from your view moving forward to support your clients, how do you finally feel that the rSIM will support the telecare service moving forward?
Yeah, but it's just that extra resilience again. Just that peace of mind as a service provider to know that. I mean, technically, downtime should be almost non-existent. And we've got every faith that it does what it says. So far, it's been brilliant. So yeah, it's just that peace of mind and reassurance for us as a service provider to know that what we're putting out to our customers is of the highest possible standard.
And you guys at Southampton operate the John Tech platform, and you've had relatively no issues, with those devices connecting to the John Tech platform, fairly quick, rapid, etc. Since you've deployed rSIM.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, in terms of connection to the Arc, yeah. If anything, it's even quicker. It was quick already. It's even quicker still to program and then subsequently, yeah, connecting to the Arc. Yeah, very, very slick. No problems in that respect.
Fantastic. Well, thanks, Steve, for your really valid feedback, because you've been fantastic in telling us when there's something that's not working for you, and we've been able to work with you closely, visit site, and I'm fortunate being very close to Southampton, so we've managed to build up a really good sort of technical relationship in that circumstance. And thanks for your support on the webinar today, really appreciated. We'll look forward to speaking to you on the Q&A a little bit later on.
Cheers, guys.
Over to you then, Tim. Hello, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. For the audience, it would be great. I mean, many people probably do know you already, somewhat of a celebrity in the sector in your role. You work with so many customers. So, but for anybody that doesn't know you, perhaps you could just give a brief insight into yourself and your role you play within the TSA.
Thanks, Gary. You've definitely overstated my maybe some infamy in there as well, but. Yeah, hi everyone. My name's Tim Mulrey. I work for the Tech Services Association, or the TSA for short. We're an industry body that runs primarily the QSF, which is the certification process for all stakeholders in the industry, guaranteeing quality and safety in technology-enabled care. But my role specifically is around supporting all stakeholders, really, regardless of membership, around analog to digital, and more sort of the operational side of it, I guess, rather than I leave some of the strategic decisions to others. But yeah, definitely getting down into the nitty gritty of it, and that's why yeah, getting involved in this particular process was really really good. Thank you for the invite.
Not at all. So, I mean, you were involved in some of the brief tests with the rSIM, before we launched it, but just initially, naturally, there's been some real sort of concern in the sector in past sort of months and years about digital resilience and how, mobile plays a stable part in the telecare journey moving forward. And TSA have done a lot of work on digital end-to-end resilience, included now within the QSF, etc. But perhaps you could just give us a sort of insight into TSA's perspective around digital telecare resilience and your guidance around digital telecare.
Yeah, thanks. It has been a learning curve for everyone, particularly when I think about some of the guidance that the TSA produced kind of back in the day with the support of Max from CSL and other industry partners as well, where it's just come a long way since then. So we for example, my understanding was it back in the day, well, it was a roaming SIM, so it could, if one network went down, another one could come up, and didn't really have that sort of understanding of the backbone that you've really highlighted today, the reliance that we have on the likes of Tele2 or KPN or Deutsche or whatever. So and what we've seen is and this reached a kind of a peak probably mid 2023, when we did see a number of outages of various types. But I guess what in the analog world, what we were used to is maybe you know, a BT exchange went down for a few hours, or there was some other issue which tended to be more regional in impact or local. Whereas with the SIM stuff, because we were talking about tens, hundreds of thousands of SIMs going down across the UK, it had much bigger impact, as you've described. So the onus was really on manufacturers like Carium, you know, service providers like CSL to come up with solutions really that it's never going to be 100% coverage, but this, both the development of dual SIM, the development of rSIM has been significant steps forward in increasing the resilience of a sector that is becoming increasingly reliant on cellular connectivity. And so yeah, that's been great, and we've obviously developed our guidance and our standards in line with the need to, you know, be more resilient, reduce those single points of failure as much as possible.
Absolutely, and you know, TSA are doing some great work around, you know, making sure customers are, you know, have full awareness about the telecare journey and, you know, how resilient should be. So, you know, as a supplier, we really appreciate that, and I'm sure as a customer they do too. Just touching on, you know, the brief test that you did with the rSIM. So, you know, we wanted to get TSA involved in the testing process, so we provided you with a device in the rSIM. What was kind of your brief feedback about the limited test that you did do on the rSIM and the visibility that you got?
Yeah, I mean, it was over a period of weeks, and whilst I couldn't dedicate, you know, significant periods of time to it, there was definitely a number of occasions when I go, right, it's 9:30 on a Tuesday or a Thursday, I know that there's an outage coming, so I'm going to start putting some calls in. And it, you know, and what I found was essentially that it was pretty much seamless. You know, I couldn't detect any. So even though the core network was kind of being failed over, if you like, there was no perceptible kind of issues that I could tell in the testing that I was doing. Again, it wasn't to the extent of you know, maybe what, you know, obviously Stephen was doing and other people, but yeah, what I saw was really a leap forward for those devices that aren't, if you like, dual SIM devices where you've got a single SIM but you need two core networks on that single SIM. I think that was a significant step forward. So it was brilliant to see that in real life.
Yeah, fantastic. And you know, I guess we're in a place, you know, in the industry now where broadband deployment, you know, is relatively low across, you know, our age demographic that we're deploying devices to. So, you know, so like you said earlier, you know, that technology, the mobile technology is going to become ever more important, and the resilience of that technology is going to be ever more important. And I say, I know you personally in many forums are really trying to push that agenda. So, you know, we appreciate it, and hugely appreciate your input on the webinar today and our previous one that you were available for as well. So thanks ever so much, Tim. Any further comments?
No, I think you're right there. You touched on it slightly with the development of kind of Ethernet connectivity, and I know from your perspective with the ELISA, there's a lot more ways of getting to the outside world. And I think, you know, my plea is to everyone on this call who has that responsibility for purchasing devices, you know, whatever the manufacturer is, whether it's a Carium or a Chiptech or a Telealarm or whatever that device is, that, you know, really think about the ways of getting to the outside world. So if something does happen, what are those mitigations? So really understand that if there's a cellular network failure, will it fall over to something else? You know, if there's a SIM backbone failure, just really understand that. And I think that's something from a standards perspective that we're asking everyone to really take a closer look at. So thank you.
Yeah, really great advice. Okay, well, thanks so much again for your time, Tim. We'll look to invite you back on for the main Q&A in 5 or 10 minutes or so. So we'll speak to you in a little bit. Thanks ever so much.
Thank you.
Okay, so you'll be happy to know that is it from me on the technical detail now. So I'm going to rejoin for the Q&A in a little while, but at this point I'll pass over to Wayne, our head of sales, to just summarise on the benefits of rSIM and how the sales team can help you moving forward. Thanks ever so much.
Thanks, Gary. Good morning, everyone. It's good to see so many people have joined. I'm going to share my slides.
Yeah, we can see those, Wayne. Thank you.
Sorry, technical support. I've lost my notes. Gary, just confirm, is that in presenter mode?
It is in presenter mode, yeah.
Cool. Okay. Hi everyone, sorry about that. So I've worked in the industry for 20 years. So yeah, 10 years working at John Tech, providing training and after sales support to the call handling operators and providing solutions and yeah, a bit of TLC. And